Hi, welcome to Arty Crafty Alchemy. Today I am sharing with you the May Hedgehog Hollow Box. I'm the Arty Crafty Alchemist. Let's get started. No fancy tape this time. We do have the Hedgehog Hollow sticker on the top. Everything is contained in this cute little package. This month we have our postcard that says yes. The first one is Sophie's Bouquets. Our postcard says, welcome to your May box. This is our first ever illustrator box. Sophie's designs really caught my eye and I hope you will all love them too. She is so talented and these designs are just beautiful. I can't wait to see what you and the design team will create. We have so many amazing things in this month's box. It's jam-packed. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for your coupons. I know it's a great bonus. Are you a Channel Perks member yet? You can get even more savings from all your favourite stores. There's lots of reasons to join. Check the pinned post in the member group for more info. As always, thanks for all your love and support of the Hollow. Love, Alexandra and the Prickle. First up, we have the stamp set Sophie's Bouquet, and we have lots of pretty florals in there that will be great for colouring. And we have a few words: happy, love and thanks. And then we have Sophia Edges. So we have these two beautiful edge stamps that you could use like that, or you could use that one way and flip it and go the other way so that they're a bit more matching. Then we have another little floral bouquet. Hope you're having a great day. Keep your head up. You rock. My world is better with you in it. You're amazing. Your halo is tilting. Miss you. And then we have Sophia Frames. Have this beautiful circle frame with the florals around it. The jug with the poppies. I really like that. That's pretty. Just wanted to check in and ask how everything's going. I hope you get to do something fun to celebrate. Daughter, aunt, happy birthday. I want you to know you've been in my thoughts. A little handmade happiness. And then we have our word chipboard this month. There is a circle that I guess fits perfectly in there if you wanted to use it. Love, hugs, a little love, medium love, two medium loves, fabulous, fabulous, sympathy and beautiful. That's pretty cool to get all those chip words. And we have the card bases, and this month we have got the thicker Nina Solar White. So we have 6, so that's a nice heavyweight cardstock. I like that. I've got gads of the thin stuff, but I like the feel of that. We have some coloured cardstock. This month we've got green, coral, pink, blue and yellow. And then our envelopes are this really pretty shimmery pink, and there are 5 of them. We have some interesting looking flower candy, our print, and our subscriber bonus this month is the floral stencil. Let's see if I can hold it against something so you can see it a bit better. Maybe something clean. So that's a beautiful floral stencil. That is this month's kit. I will have to work out what I'm going to make and then come back and make something. I have grabbed out my Tim Holtz stamp platform. I'm going to take the Sophia Edges. I am going to try the Nuvo Hybrid ink that we got in our last box. I'm using some Shadow Black. It is supposed to be good for watercolouring and Copics and things. Probably have to do a couple of coats on the watercolour paper, and because this is a brand new stamp, I have a nice black image. Stamps cleaned off rather nicely. I've grabbed my Superior watercolours. I was going to use the cocktail colours, then I realised that they wouldn't work. Even though I filmed the unboxing for this in May, it is now June, and being that it's June and Pride Month, I thought I would do this in the Pride colours. So in my Superior watercolours, I have picked which colours I'm going to use, and I am just going to add water all over this. I probably should have taped it down, but never mind. And I'm already seeing a bit of a problem. It's supposed to be a hybrid ink and it's running all over the place. The only thing I didn't do was heat set it. It has been about half an hour since I stamped though. I did stamp quite a few times, but my ink is running all over the place. This time I have used the archival. I'm wondering if it's the paper that's a problem, because that seems to be having issues too. I'm just going to give it a quick blast. Okay, let's add some water and see what happens. We have some bleeding, so it may be this paper. This is my third or fourth attempt at filming this. I have the Jane Davenport's neutral palette out, and I also have the Jane Davenport Brights. I've taken the apple from the neutrals to put in my palette just because I don't want to have both palettes open on the table at the same time. I have a piece of cardstock and it measures 5 3/4 by 4 1/8. I have used this Tim Holtz ruler and I have gone in 1/8 of an inch, and then I have measured every inch to give me the rough areas of where I need to work. I've swatched out my colours, and by swatching I know that both the red and the blue are way more stronger than the yellow, so I need to be very careful. I'm going to add some tape to the back of it, I think, and then adding it to this board. That way if I need to pick it up and move it around, I can. I'm going to lightly mist cardstock. I am going to start with the apple. I'm going to start with the apple, and I'm just going to try and get up to the line, and I'm hoping that it will run a little. Then I'm going to take the buzzy and I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to work my way across to the red. Need more pigment, less water. This paint doesn't spread the way I really wanted it to, but that's okay. I'm going to grab more yellow, make that super strong. I'm going to try just running the damp paintbrush along the edge to try and soften it a little. I'm getting cat hair. Joys of having pets. Next I am taking butterfly. So I'm going to grab a good lot of butterfly, and I'm going to start over this side and work it into the yellow. Clean my brush again. I'm just going to go in with the yellow just to soften the transition a little. And then I'm going to rinse my brush again, and I'm going to just take the clean water at the top, cleaning in between colours. And then finally I'm going to take Royal. This brush holds a lot of water and I keep forgetting that. I'm just going to add Royal and go up to the blue. And I do know that I'm cutting off probably this end because it has most of the purple. But I might go back and add a little bit more red. Add some more red. The orange has sort of crept over into the red a little, and I want the red to be very red. And again, I'm just going to take the wet brush, try and drag some of this colour out. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to heat this up. I am going to grab the two border pieces. I'm going to move this to that mark there so that if it does move, which it shouldn't with the magnets and the tape, it should be okay. A little bit of overhang on each side. You need to cut some off the top and bottom as well. So I'm going to pick them up, and I'm going to ink these up with archival. That's going to need to be done again because we are on watercolour paper and there's lots of ridges. And I probably forgot to say, but I used Montmartre 300 GSM watercolour paper today. It took a few goes, but I'm happy with that inking now. My trick for doing this with this Fiskars trimmer, and I'm not sure what other ways to do it, but with other trimmers, well, if you have one with a centre channel, it's quite easy to line up. But this one, what I'm doing is just letting a little tiny bit of the black peek out and then trimming. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I have my two pieces, bottom and the top, and I have a rainbow strip to use on something else. I'm going to trim a tiny bit off the top and bottom because I forgot about the marks. Made my pencil marks a little too big. Now, because I keep trimming and getting slightly different sizes, I am trimming both sides at once. That way I will know that they are both the same size. Now I have some foam and I am just going to make it slightly smaller than my piece and go around the piece, and then I need to do the same with this one. And then I'm just going to take some Tim Holtz scissors and cut around them. Make sure they fit behind and aren't going to peek out the sides. Good to go. Next, I am going to take off the release paper. Same with the top panel. I'm going to grab the chipboard pieces, and I've grabbed the beautiful this time. First of all, I'm going to turn it black. Next, I've got my pokey tool, and I've grabbed my heat tool, and I'm going to make sure this is dry. Next, I'm grabbing my Versamark watermark stamp pad because it is spongy and old, and it won't matter if the black transfers. I am making sure to stamp this down very firmly so the whole thing gets covered in Versamark. And if you can see, the whole thing is shiny, so you can tell that it is all covered. I'm going to grab this piece of paper, and I have the Nouveau Jet Black embossing powder, and I am going to dump that on top. Make sure it is well coated. I'm going to wipe off the excess and put the rest back in the jar. Now I'm going to hold it with my tweezers. I'm going to give that a second to cool down, and then I'm going to do another layer. Now I have forgotten to do something, so I'm a little mad at myself right now. I had wanted to stamp on that one, so now I'm just going to have a banner or something. Now I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and not touch it because I have a bad habit of wrecking things. I may just very carefully put it out of the way. I'm going to grab this extra bit of watercolour paper I had. I grabbed this new Crafty Potential stamp and die set that I got recently, and I grabbed the You Are So. I'm going to make this a You Are So Beautiful card. I have the You Are So, and I'm just going to trim that off. As I forgot to stamp on the panel before I added the foam, I am having to adjust what I plan to do. I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and turn this into a banner. To assemble this card, I'm going to try some new glue from Montmartre that I got and make sure my pieces are up the right way. I did not realise I was about to hit 30 minutes again. My daughter keeps texting me, so this is taking far longer than it needed to. And I have to go out soon. Okay, next I have to make sure I have it up the right way. And then I'm doing the exact same thing this way. Now I need something heavy to put on the top. So I am going to grab that and I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes just so that it dries in place and nice and flat. And then I'll come back. Everything looks nice and flat. Going to add that on there. Next I'm going to take some Lawn Fundamentals glue and I'm going to add little dobs along these. Well, that was far too much. This is coming out very fast for some reason. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know where my pokey tool went,
But I'm going to grab my tweezers and spread that out a little. Otherwise we're going to have a big mess. What I'm going to do, find a place I can grab it with the tweezers. Maybe there. Very carefully work out where I want this. And then just make sure I get it nice and straight and press it down. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and clean up this overshooting of glue. Being very gentle not to move the word. I'm going to heat up my heat tool really quickly because all that finger pressing has dulled down my embossing a bit. And I'm just going to really quickly heat it with the heat tool. I don't want the embossing to move around too much and slide off the edges or anything. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. And the shine is back. Now I'm just going to add a very small amount of foam tape to this. This is thin foam tape, it's not very thick. Not as thick as the fun foam. There was a little bit of something there I didn't like, so I'm just using the banner to cover that up. And there we have our finished card, which is more in line with what I've wanted. Not quite as vibrant as I wanted. Normally I would have gone over the watercolours a second time to make them pop a bit more. These are the first two cards I made, and while I do like them, they weren't the look I was going for. I wanted the more organic edges, which I didn't quite get. I'm working on that. I don't think the Jane Davenport paints were the right ones to use for that. I used the Superior Flip Out palette for these ones. Okay, this is me admitting defeat. I made these about probably 6 to 8 weeks ago now, and haven't had the time or the chance to sit down and finish off the video or make another project with these beautiful stamps. I really wanted to use something from these two. You can see I did stamp them out, and they were for testing ink purposes because for some reason on this paper, which I think is the Arto paper, I can't remember 100%, I could not get the ink to stay put. And I tried archival and I tried the Nouveau hybrid ink, and it just would not stay put. You can really see it in this one how the colours washed out a bit, and that is because the black mixed in with them. These two were done using the Superior Flip Out palette that I have with the 42 colours, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. I may add some footage in and show you a quick process video for doing these. I used the chipboard, and then I have some stamp sets from Crafty Potential that I did the You Are Truly in and heat embossed that, and the black heat embossing is done with the Nouveau black embossing powder. And I wasn't happy with these two, so then I decided I had to make a third card for the video, which was this one, and it's still not 100% the way I envisioned it, but getting closer. Again, this is a Crafty Potential stamp, and I'm actually wishing I had black heat embossed it the same as the sentiment. I would have liked to have put it on here like I did for that one, but I forgot when I made this card. I think it was about a week between making even these cards as well, and by that stage I'd totally forgotten what I'd done and what I wanted to do. I grabbed another of the chipboard words and laid it up with the Nouveau black ink, and the paints I used were the Jane Davenport watercolours, which I absolutely love. They're really vibrant. I hope you enjoyed this project share with this Hedgehog hollow box, and off the top of my head I can't even remember what month it is, but it will be in the title. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to see more content like this, and hit the bell notification to know when new videos come out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Kitty and I say bye for now.